I was very complacent in the UK, thinking, okay, cool. I'm going to invest a fixed amount every month and I'm going to guarantee myself a multi-millionaire by the time I retire. When people are actually making that money right here, right now in their 20s.
Biggest thing I don't like about Dubai is like the different system tiers there are. What I mean by that is, it's very noticeable to see like how people are treated depending on where they come from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's like super obvious.
Yeah. What else would you say are some cons of living in Dubai?
Like if you're really trying to make a super big impact, there's got to be depth to that, man.
Yeah.
There's got to be super depth.
Yeah.
People are not attracted to, you know, what's his name? Andrew Tate because of his private jets and all of that. Don't get me wrong, 100% there's an element to that. But they're attracted to him because of like his...
It's the energy. He's outrageous. And I think when we're talking social media, that's what brings eyes. The more outrageous you are, the more controversial you are, the more eyes that are going to naturally gravitate to you, bad or good. Welcome to the Dubai Entrepreneurs podcast, where we talk all things entrepreneurship and life in Dubai. And today I'm here with special guest, the rent-to-rent king himself, Yusuf Sheikh. Welcome, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you taking me on board, honestly.
Of course. So I don't know if you remember, but we actually met roughly around 1 year ago. It was at an event in London. And at that point in time, we were both living in London. You've recently moved over to Dubai. So I just have to ask, what made you take the jump?
Well, to be fair, it's something I've been wanting to do for a little while. It's not something that I was just like, oh, okay, I want to move, and I just moved.
Not spontaneous.
It's something I've been thinking about for ages, to be fair. But, you know, it was kind of one of those things to where, like you're pushing yourself mad out your comfort zone because you've been in London all your life.
Yeah.
That's what you know. You've got all your peoples there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to answer, like, in terms of the main reasons why I wanted to come over here, I'm not gonna lie to you. The number one is taxes.
Yep. I thought that's what your answer would be.
The taxes in the UK bro, it's stupidly high. Let's be very, very honest about that. So that's the number one. Second, of course, lifestyle. Let's be very honest. Like when you compare the lifestyle over here to the lifestyle in the UK, it's not really, you know what I mean?
There's no,
You can't
There's no comparison.
You can't really compare, bro, man. So I would say those are the two major reasons to why I wanted to move like from out here to here. And obviously as well, like the energy, the environment, the network.
Yeah.
Of course, with Dubai being entrepreneur central, it's a different vibe, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And would you say safety played an aspect into it? Or?
Oh, you know what? 100%, man. That's something I don't really talk about too much, but safety played a big role. You know, I'm someone, obviously I'm like, you know, I've spoke about my story openly on social media about, you know, how I used to be on the roads when I was a lot younger. But like, even then, like, of course I don't live like that life anymore, but you still have it in the back of your mind that, oh, you know, anything can happen at any time. And it's not even your fault.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't escape that mentality over there, and it's a bit uneasing. Whereas over here, you don't think about that at all. So that's a big thing, man. Honestly.
Yeah. It's a lot more chilled. You don't have to worry about getting your watch robbed. You know, you can walk the streets at night safe.
Exactly.
Ladies are safe. You just there's no worry really.
That's a massive part of it, honestly.
Nice,
I mean, London's not super dangerous. Because a lot of people make it to seem
I do think, people do exaggerate it. But then when you compare it to Dubai, there's almost next to no crime here.
There is, it's
next
true.
to no crime, so...
It's true. Someone used my credit card the other day when I lost it, but aside from that...
In Dubai?
Yeah.
Oh.
Aside from that, it's all good. Only petty crime. Only petty crime.
So you've been here for about 8 weeks or so? You're fairly new to the scene.
So initially I came over here in 2023.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to scope out the scene, see what it was about. Because I'd heard people talking about, look, you know, it's the main place for entrepreneurs. Came over here, checked it out. First time coming over here, and I was like, wow, I was amazed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure everybody feels like that for the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I remember the first time I came here, I spent about 3 weeks there.
Yeah.
And then I was just coming back and forth to be here. Each time I was spending like a month over here. And then I kept telling myself in my head, you know what, I need to make that move. But then mentally, it goes back to what I was saying before, you know, it's something you've never done before. Yeah. So it's like you're pushing yourself crazy out your comfort zone.
So you've never actually lived in another country apart from the UK, have you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was living in Egypt for like 8 months, probably like 10 years ago. Okay. But aside from that...
So are you actually of Egyptian heritage?
No, so my sister was taking her kids to school over there at the time. So I just figured I'd join them for a little bit and just, you know, chill out with them.
Yeah, okay, cool. Nice.
Appreciate that, man.
Cairo?
Cairo,
It's on the list. It's on the list. Cool. So you came here on holiday a few times. You thought it was a good place to live, and you made the move. Obviously, expectations versus reality are quite different, and coming over on holiday is very different to actually living here permanently. Would you say there's a difference so far? Have you noticed a difference? Obviously, coming here on holiday, you're maybe in the party scene. You know, you're not really living the day-to-day real life of Dubai. Have you noticed a big difference?
Not really. The reason why for me personally, I'll say not really is because I'm not really a party guy anyways.
Okay.
I don't go out, I don't party, I don't go to the bars or anything like that. I'm just more like, I'm going to be real with you, bro. I'm just locked in, man. I'm just locked in. I'm focused. I'm working. I'll go to like mastermind events. I'll go to different places where I can feel like I can get value and stuff. Maybe link up with a few people here and there. But aside from that, man, I'm just fully locked in and just focus on just growing the business, man.
That's it, man. That's it. That's good, man.
I don't really do the lifestyle stuff, man.
You've gone past that stage. I feel like everyone goes through that stage, and now you're locked in. You're ready to make as much money as possible.
Exactly.
In the tax-free haven. So
that's good, man.
That's good. So just touching on Dubai as a city, I think you mentioned that, you're big on networking out here. I personally feel like Dubai is a city built for opportunists. If you're someone who's really ready to network and, collaborate with other entrepreneurs, Dubai is probably arguably the best city in the world for that. I just don't see any other city comparing to Dubai in terms of authentic entrepreneurship and just meeting people, on a random night out or just walking the streets. The collaboration and the level of caliber of people out here, there's just no comparison, I don't think, to any other city in the world.
Definitely. Yeah.
So you're big on networking out here. Have you met any big time entrepreneurs out here so far, or?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I have. I would say there's one specifically that comes to mind. But to be fair, I met him in London.
Okay.
So he came out
so
here.
So you already
as well.
have that connection already.
I had that connection with him. But in terms of people I've met out here exclusively, I'm gonna be honest with you, not necessarily. And the reason why is because I know before I said I was big on networking, 100%.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not, I wouldn't say I would just go to the networking events for the sake of going to networking events. Does that make sense? I would go to, like, for example, I would go to a mastermind event that's around marketing, for example.
Yeah.
Or like, content marketing or anything like that. Something that I know, okay, I can seriously get value from this.
Yeah.
And obviously I'll pay a bit of money to go towards that. And then naturally I'm going to meet people there that are of a certain caliber because they're paying a pretty little penny to get there as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So naturally I'm going to connect with these guys. I'm going to see what they're about. I'm seeing a lot of people doing numbers. I've met like a few people, like young guys as well, man, like mid-20s, a few early 20s. They're doing numbers, man. Like, it's not really a big thing for me to speak to someone that's doing like 200-300K a month from their business, most of that being profit. And they're like, in their mid-20s.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, let's be very honest, how likely are you to actually have a conversation with someone of that caliber?
Your chances of meeting someone like that on a day-to-day is very, very minimal.
It's very minimal.
Yeah.
It's very, very minimal, to be fair. And like, I feel like where everyone's an expat, everyone's coming from somewhere, I just feel like naturally people will be more open to, connecting, just chatting, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, there are people that are a bit closed off here. I've seen that already, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this is the place definitely full of heavy hitters, man. And it definitely makes you think, because even I've even spoke about this before, like in the UK, it's very easy to feel like a big fish in the UK. You start making a certain amount of money, and then, most people around you are not making that sort of money.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking you're the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're not the guy.
It's so interesting that you touch on that, because even with myself, right? So I'm obviously big on the stock market. I talk a lot about stocks. I document my own portfolio. And I was very complacent in the UK, thinking, okay, cool. I'm going to invest a fixed amount every month, and I'm going to guarantee myself a multi-millionaire by the time I retire. But when I came to Dubai and I'm seeing 20-year-olds making ridiculous amounts of money on a monthly basis, hundreds of thousands, it really opens your eyes. And I thought, in the UK, I had that mindset of, I'm just going to be content with a few million in the bank at retirement, when people are actually making that money right here, right now in their 20s. It really opened my eyes and made me think even bigger and not just have that small, closed UK mindset. So it's interesting that you said that. No,
100%. I think that's another, I don't want to call it a curse of the UK, but it's definitely another con of the UK.
We don't think big enough.
Yeah, people
we
in
don't
the UK
stretch ourselves enough.
They're small-minded. They're very, very small-minded. They're very like, stay in your place, be humble, and be grateful. Which is, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing being grateful and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, especially if you compare it to like Americans, for example. Obviously with Americans, they're all over the place. They're very loud. Yeah. But at the same time, they believe in the American dream. Everyone's big on that over there. Yeah. But there's no such thing as the British dream. That doesn't exist.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's another thing as well. It's like being there. It's like, it's very easy to feel complacent. It's very easy to feel like you're the guy. It gets to your head and it makes you lazier.
Yeah. I thought the majority of people are just living the rat race, and it's unfortunate. I don't see it changing. It all starts at school. I personally don't think the education system in the UK is doing enough, and that's where it all starts. So it'll be interesting to see where the UK is in the next 5, 10, 15 years.
It's looking like it's going in a good place, man. It's not looking like it's going in a good place.
A big thing for me really is tax. So I don't know if you're aware, but a lot of millionaires are leaving the UK for Dubai. What's your thoughts on taxing millionaires in the UK?
I mean, look, I think taxes, I get it. You know, you want to pay your fair share. You want to, contribute to society. I mean, look, at the end of the day, bro, we have the privilege of coming from a first world country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like me and my parents, they're from Africa. They came from Somalia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was a dream for them to come to somewhere like the first world country. And I would never diminish the opportunities that provided for myself and my family. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people that will die to be from a place like that.
Yeah.
So 100%, I give the UK props for that, and I'll never, talk too bad on it. But at the same time, I mean, look, when you're making a bit of money, it becomes very, it's very constraining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The taxes you're paying, I mean, if you work out all together as a business owner, you're probably paying like 50-60% in taxes. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
As a businessman, it's not a great business move to stay in the UK if that's the case, right?
Of course not.
If you can get that elsewhere, if you don't have to pay that tax, you're potentially 50-60% richer if you move to a tax haven place like Dubai.
100%. It's just like, why? I just can't comprehend that, man. And personally, I can't justify it. Yeah. I mean, look, if we're being reasonable and saying 20% tax, 25% tax, and just keeping it as that, even that's a lot, but it's like, okay, maybe I can swallow it, but 50-60%, and that's everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Potentially more. Yeah. When you're looking at the stealth taxes that people don't really think about. Yeah, man, that's part of the reason. I mean, that's a massive reason why. But not only that as well, let's be real. If you're paying that much, you would think that you'd be getting a lot more than what you're getting in the UK. Yeah. A lot of people are not happy with like how things are in the UK, like minus in the taxes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not happy for it. It's like you're not gonna go to like a shop, like I said, like a Louis Vuitton shop, and pay £10,000 for. I mean, most people don't do that anyways, but hypothetically, you're not gonna pay £10,000 for like a fake jacket. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, or something that's super low quality. It's like with the UK, they're charging you that much, but they're giving you shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just man, that's what it is. I mean, they're gonna make it harder. They're gonna make it a lot harder for people to eventually leave the UK and the tax system because there's too many people leaving.
I think they'll implement some sort of exit tax or up that. So
they've been speaking about that already, and that's part of the reason why I actually left this year.
You made sure you got it locked in.
Yeah, 100%. Because I didn't want to because I heard them talking about it, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to be here when they put that in place, and then it's like 20 times harder for me to get out. Yeah. So that was actually a big part. I didn't even think about it till now that you brought it up. That was like a big part of the reason why I said, okay, now, and I timed it correctly. I actually left on the 7th of April. Yeah. Right after the tax year started. Yeah. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool.
That's what it is, bro, man.
So you're big in the rent-to-rent game, right? You've been doing entrepreneurship for, how long have you been an entrepreneur for?
Since 2020.
Okay. And growing up, did you always know that you wanted to run your own business, or were you happy working a normal, regular 9 to 5? What was your upbringing like? Did you always know that you wanted to go down the entrepreneurship route, or was there some sort of epiphany that maybe a midlife crisis that you had that made you think, okay, cool, let me see what I can do?
That's a very good question. So coming up, if I'm being honest with you, I just wanted to be my own man. I wanted to be my own man. I always wanted to have my own thing. Yeah. I can't like working a job when I was a little bit younger, because obviously you have family, you have friends pushing you to get into certain professions now, which to be fair, at the start, I was quite open to it. But yeah, man, as more time passes, when I'm more going to like year 10, year 11, I was like, nah, man, that is not for me, to be fair. And to be fair, at the time, obviously, I came up in a certain area and, I had a lot of people around me that was out here, that was on the roads, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you saw quite a few of those guys making a lot of money. Yeah. So then if you're just around those people and they're making a lot of money and then you don't want to go to work, you know what I mean? That's what you can see. Yeah. So that's what kind of led me to going down that path, to be fair. But even outside of that, working a job, look, I've bashed working a job in the past. I think that was not really a mature thing to do because, like working a job is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. But I get that a lot of people need to do what they need to do. I can't bash them for that at all. But for me, nah, man, I just couldn't see myself doing that, man. I'm gonna be so honest with you. But at the same time, I didn't want to go back to doing what I was doing before.
Absolutely, yeah.
Does that make sense?
You only had one choice then, I guess, but to go down the entrepreneurship
Exactly,
route.
man. I only had one choice, man. That was just to make my own thing happen. And I probably started my entrepreneurship journey in, I mean, I started before that. I started probably 2019 when I was buying and selling cars.
Yeah.
I was doing that. I was doing that for a bit. There's nothing. I mean, I was making a couple £100 every flip and that. So it wasn't nothing good, but it was something. And then I tested it out. I was looking at Amazon FBA and stuff, and then I actually came across property in late 2019.
Okay.
It was a Facebook ad. I remember. I'll never forget. It was a Facebook ad, yeah. And then this guy was just talking about property and how you can get started with, not that much money. And I joined his webinar, and then I was just taking bare notes. He was talking about rent to rents, deal sourcing, BRRs. I'm like, bruv,
all these new strategies.
What is all this?
Yeah. And then, because most people are just familiar with the standard buy to let.
Exactly,
They're not familiar with sourcing, rent to rent.
Exactly.
In fact, let's talk about that. So what actually is rent to rent? In layman terms, what is rent to rent essentially?
Yeah, no, rent to rent is very simple. So you rent a property from a landlord and then you re-let that same property out for a profit. There's different strategies you can do. Some people choose to go down the Airbnb route. That's what we obviously focus on. Others choose to work with the council to accommodate, vulnerable people, council tenants, etc., etc. There's quite a few strategies that you can do. But yeah, in simple terms, you rent a property from a landlord, you re-let it out for a profit.
Okay. And some would say that's subleasing. Is that an actual thing still, or?
Subletting. Yeah. Look, a lot of people do it illegally. I wouldn't recommend that, of course.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you have the right contracts in place and you also have the landlord's consent, then of course it's not a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not a problem at all.
Yeah.
Man, that's what we focus on. And I got started off in that 2020. Yeah. 2020. And literally just before the lockdown started.
Yeah.
So when the lockdown started, everyone was like, wow. To be fair, like from what I heard, people that had Airbnbs, a lot of people got wiped out the game because nobody was traveling. Nobody was booking properties. So that's when I was coming in the game. You know what I mean? And then I was like,
it was an interesting time to start.
It's an interesting time to start. But then it was a good time to start because so many landlords had so many properties that were empty, and they were so keen to work with people and give out their properties. So there was a lot of opportunity at that time, to be fair, and I was just trying to make the absolute most of it, to be fair. That's why it wasn't easy though, man. It was hard, man. When I first got started off my business, it was extremely hard because at that time I wasn't really like, people see me now on social media. I talk a lot, or whatever, but I was super introverted. My confidence was very, very low, and you could tell if you spoke to me that, this guy's just.
So the business has helped you personally develop as
a business. The way I see it, your business is a reflection of your personal development.
You
know what I mean, and vice versa.
So
100%, man. It's like you're forced to develop yourself as a person when you're in business.
Absolutely,
you ain't got a choice. Otherwise, you're not going to develop as a whole. You know what I mean? So that's what it is, man.
Nice. So you've obviously ran a very successful property company, and you now offer mentorship programs, don't you?
Yeah. So we've been doing mentorship for a little while, to be fair. Probably coming up to 2-3 years, something like that. We've been doing that for a while, to be fair. Currently we have a property Airbnb management company where we're manage Airbnb properties, of course. And that's the main thing right now, man. Just those two main things, really.
Just helping the youth get into property and start their journey.
Exactly that, man. Spreading the word, man. Just showing people that there are alternative ways. You know what I mean? Because not a lot of people. The thing is as well, I've noticed that a lot of people, especially people that look like us, they don't really. They don't see a lot of people that look like us that are doing very, very well. They see some, but not a lot.
Still a very small proportion in comparison to...
Yeah. So it's like when they see people like us, they see people like yourself, it's like, it makes it more believable.
That is possible,
Exactly. Compared to, I don't know, like a white middle-aged guy in his 40s that has zero relatability to people that look like us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
And I think it also builds that trust because they can see, okay, cool, this person looks like me. I actually can trust him a bit more because he's probably faced certain obstacles that I've faced in my life as well. So
exactly that, man. Exactly. So it's like a huge, I didn't even know just how much of a, I want to say responsibility, but just how much of, let's say that responsibility that came with to be like, okay, you actually, what you say actually holds weight with what a lot of people think. You know what I'm saying? And how a lot of people feel. And I thought about it, I was like, wow, you know what? That's real. You have that power. I'm not saying I've got a massive power and I've got a massive following, because I don't. But, man, a few people have told me that I've inspired them, and it's very, very humbling.
I get a few messages. I mean, my page is obviously not to your level, but I always get messages, and it just fills me with happiness seeing, okay, someone's actually looked at my content and they've benefited from that content. So it's a really nice feeling when you get those messages.
No, definitely, man. And that's what it's all about, man. It's about, of course, making money is good.
You
know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody needs to make a bit of money, of course.
Of course.
100%.
It makes the world go around.
Exactly.
What would we do without money?
Exactly. But then when you like, not to say that like I'm super up or anything, because I'm not, but when you've made a bit of money, like you want to do more.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you wanna do more than just like, it's not all about the money, as cheesy as it sounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's this saying, you're not a leader until you make someone else a leader. And I think that's a great testimony to you, because where you're running your mentorship program, you've obviously built that successful company, and now you're actually teaching people to also how to run successful property sourcing and rent-to-rent companies. So I think, that's a testimony to you. You're not a leader until you actually make someone else become a leader. So
nah, definitely, man. Look, what I would say, I wouldn't even say like I built a mad successful company. I built like a modest rent-to-rent company.
you're doing good, bro. You're doing good.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's mad successful. Like there's still a lot to do, a long way to go. But it's, I'm very, very grateful. I've made it to a certain level. Some people look at me like, oh yeah, this guy's made it, but far from it, man. Far from it. I'm like,
keeping it humble.
Yeah, no, it's true though. It's like, come on, man. There's always someone bigger than you.
Oh yeah.
And people that boast, it's like you're gonna get shit on. Like people are gonna slap you in the face. Not obviously not physically, but like theory. Like, what's the word I'm looking for?
That's the reality of social media. Yeah.
It's like, because you're like, there's so many big fishes out there that will put you in your place.
Yeah.
And you deserve it if you're someone that's just, you know what I mean? If you think you're the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So but me, I try to keep it humble. I try to keep it, cool and chilled, because it's not like, look, like flexing and all this stuff is cool, but at the same time, I don't feel like it makes a lot of people feel good. Don't get me wrong, there's people that feel inspired by that, but then I know there's a lot of people that really don't like that. And don't get me wrong, that shouldn't be a reason for you to not to flex, because you can, if that's your thing, that's your thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like for me,
I think it's a touchy one, because when you're successful, you want to, of course, reap the benefits of your success, right?
Of course.
And, we see a lot of people on TikTok renting supercars, and it's almost like this person's done this, I'm going to feel shit about myself kind of thing. And people see that as a flex or they're boasting, but it depends how you look at it. Some people, they just want to document their life, the luxury cars, they've worked hard to get to that point. There are a lot of frauds out there. This is Dubai, of course, people are known for their rentals and not actually owning cars.
Of course.
But it's an interesting one.
No, 100%. No, I can't fault for someone that's worked hard and that wants to treat themselves. 100%. I can't fault that at all. It's well deserved.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, when I first started making money, it's like when you've ever made money before and you start making some decent money.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost like you have to get out of your system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to splash, you have to do this and that, because you've never done it before.
Yeah.
But once you've got out of your system, it's just kind of like, it's whatever. Don't get me wrong, like you want to look good, you want to make sure you're clean, got nice clothes and that. But in terms of like, for me, I'm not a loud designer guy, man. Yeah, I'll have like a little watch and that, but
I see the J just, bro. We're twinning right now.
Well, literally, man, literally. But you know what I'm saying? Just keep it. It's subtle. It's not like you know what I mean? It's not like, I don't know, like one of these 40, 50 bag rollies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's calm. It's subtle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I was like Louis Vuittoned out, you know what I'm saying? Had the Gucci wristband. I was just OTT with the way I was dressing.
Yeah.
Personally, I just feel like people look at you and think, oh, this guy is not. Because typically, bro, people that flex like that, they haven't got the most amount of money. Yeah,
that's what they say. Yeah. The richest guys, they keep it basic. Mark Zuckerberg, he walks around in a plain black t-shirt, sliders. So
that's what it is, man. But that's just me personally, man. Of course, everyone can, treat themselves however, but. Yeah, man. As you said, man, there's a lot of fakers out here as well. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fakers out here, man. So it's like if you're out here just flexing, doing this and that, you're almost like subconscious. Someone's subconsciously going to attach you to those types of people as well, especially if you're in Dubai.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're in Dubai.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, man.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot more that we can give in terms of value and also just demonstrating in other ways that you are the guy without this needing to flex your gums or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it is, man.
Cool, bro. So what's next for the brand? What's next? You're in Dubai right now. You're living a good life. You're living a good quality of life. What's next? Where do you want to be in the next year, 2 years from now?
Man, right now I'm just focusing on growth, man. Growth of the business, growth of the company, and just being extremely aggressive with that, man, if I'm being honest with you. Of course, I want to get involved in the real estate space out here. I think it's a very interesting space out here, to say the least. I mean, a lot of people are very fascinated by Dubai. They're fascinated by the lifestyle, everything that's attached to it. And, a lot of people eventually want to, be a part of that. Let's be real. Dubai, for a lot of people, it's the future. You know what I mean?
It's still an infant in terms of a city. It's been around for 40, 50 years. A lot's happened in those years, but it's still very, very early days. So it'd be really interesting to see where Dubai is in the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Of course. I mean, the stats are just showing it's only going up. You know, it's attracting, it's a place that's attracting the most amount of millionaires compared to anywhere else in the world. Yeah. It's number one. So that's like a massive thing right there. You know what I'm saying? And of course, like there's constant investment being poured into it, constant developments taking place. The population is continuously growing. And it's been like that for the past like 10, 15 years. I was actually looking at the graph the other day as well in terms of, you know, the steadiness of growth. Don't get me wrong, there's been like hiccups in between, but there's a reason for that, man. People are not just moving here for no reason.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? And people are not just leaving. Everybody doesn't want to leave the UK for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's obviously a reason why everyone wants to, not everyone, but a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just about looking at where the future is and just, you know, just trying to allow yourself to be a part of it. But not only that as well, just make the most of it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you see yourself out here long term?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Because there are things that are like, despite, obviously Dubai is good, but there are things that, you know, I'm not really the biggest fan of out here.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, of course.
Because we've talked a lot about the pros of Dubai, but there definitely are some cons. I think the weather being one. Right now it's 40 degrees maybe?
It's like 44. Yeah, it's basically like 45.
40,
like,
yeah, between 40 and 45. We're in May right now. June, July, it's going to get even hotter. Aside from the temperature, what else would you say are some cons of living in Dubai?
In Dubai, I think there's a lot of fakery in Dubai. That's like a big thing. Like I've noticed, like a lot of people just, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of fakery going on. A lot of people flex as if they're someone they're not.
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot as well. Man, I just think there's a lot. And to be fair, another thing I've noticed as well is that with what I mentioned before about Dubai being like excellent for network, etc. On the other side of that, I've seen it to where like a lot of groups just kind of stick to their own. Okay. I've actually noticed that, to be fair. I've actually noticed that in terms of like a lot of, you got Germans over here. The Germans will typically stick with the Germans.
Yeah.
The Italians, same thing. And to be fair, that's normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is normal, to be fair.
In a city full of expats, I guess it does make
sense, to be fair. Yeah, and obviously that's not to say you couldn't connect with them. 100% you can, but that's not. I don't even say that's a major con. Yeah. That's just something. That's just an observation.
Just an observation.
Yeah. What else don't I like about Dubai?
So I want to ask you something. What do you think of the driving now? Do you drive out here?
I don't drive out
you
here.
Don't drive. Okay, good.
I don't drive out here.
Honestly, the system. Yeah, I cannot stand the roads out here.
Okay. One
wrong turn, you're screwed, because a lot of the roads are just straight roads. They don't have too many roundabouts. So if you make a wrong turn, that's added an extra 10-15 minutes onto your journey. It's so confusing. That's probably one of my biggest cons of Dubai.
And of course I'm hearing like you get fines like every other day if you're driving. You know what I mean? Kind of like the UK basically. You get a parking fine everywhere you go.
The car parking the car fine situation out here is slightly different because they just fine you. You don't actually get points unless you're driving crazy fast.
Of course,
they just want to take your money and they don't care about giving you points.
Which is good. Whereas in the UK, you go 5 miles above the speed limit, they'll give you like 6 points on your license.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not ideal. But I'll say another thing I can't lie. This is probably the biggest thing I don't like about Dubai is like the different system tiers there are. What I mean by that is when it comes to different people, obviously you got like a lot of Western expats here, but you've also got like expats from third world countries. You get like India, Africa, whatever. And then like it's very noticeable to see like how people are treated depending on where they come from. You know what I'm saying? So that's like super obvious. You know what I mean? And that's something I'm not a fan of at all. Because for me, like, I mean, look, I'm like I was born in the UK, I was born in London, but my parents weren't born in London. They were born in Africa. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure your parents were, maybe your parents were born in the UK, but generations, I'm sure you don't like, you're brown skin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I have noticed that too.
Like that's not. I'm not a fan of that at all. To be fair, man, at all. Like, and they get taken advantage of. You know what I mean? And it's sad. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, there's pros and cons to everywhere. There are pros and cons to everywhere.
Yeah. Some could argue that they might actually be having a better quality of life here. A lot of these third world countries. There's a lot of guys from India here. Even though, they're working potentially taxi jobs, they might be able to earn decent enough for money so that they can then provide for their family in India.
Nah, definitely.
It's a touchy subject, but
no, it's just, it's something I've noticed, and it's just obviously some people choose to ignore it, others don't really care.
yeah,
But for me, it's just like, nah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, because obviously in the UK, like, don't get me wrong, even, I'm not saying everybody gets treated equally in the UK, because it's not even that anyways. But like, it's like, if you're there, like, you're not going to look at someone as, oh, you're less than because you're from here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas over here, that's...
it's purely noticeable, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, obviously, it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, as you said, like, they're here they're not forced to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're obviously coming here for a reason, to provide to make more money and to provide a better opportunity for people back home, related to their loved ones. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's just observations that I've noticed, basically. Yeah. So I would say those are the biggest cons in terms of like, where I see certain people getting treated, but not only that as well, just the fakery. I'll say those are the two biggest things.
Fakery, yeah.
The fakery is a big one. So it's like, bro, why you know what I mean?
I guess in a city like Dubai, it's gonna happen, right? A city of luxury, there's always gonna be fraudsters who want to look like they're doing better than they actually are.
Yeah. It's kind of like in the I feel like
we see it in the UK as well.
Yeah. People like they flex and they do this and that, but it's like, you're not really. Let's be real, bro. You're not that guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just, it is what it is.
It's funny to see.
It is funny to see, to be fair. But if you're trying to be someone of substance, like, you got to bring more to the table.
It's not the route to go down.
Yeah, it's just like you look like you just look dumb, bro. You look hella dumb, and you look like, because I've noticed it as well when it comes to like what people are attracted to. Don't get me wrong, like the front, yes, people are attracted to that, a certain type of person. But like, if you're really trying to make a super big impact, there's got to be depth to that, man. Yeah. There's got to be super depth. Yeah. People are not attracted to, what's his name? Andrew Tate, because of his private jets and all of that. Don't get me wrong, 100% there's an element to that. But they're attracted to him because of like
it's the energy. He's outrageous. And I think when we're talking social media, that's what brings eyes. The more outrageous you are, the more controversial you are, the more eyes that are going to naturally gravitate to you, bad or good.
Yeah. No, with him, it's like, when I first heard about him, I didn't like him. I was like, oh, this guy.
He's obnoxious.
Yeah. Like, this is when I first heard about him. I saw like his small clips.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, man, this guy thinks he's the guy. I don't like how he speaks. But then when I started listening to his long form interview, I'm like, wow, like this guy goes.
He's very intelligent. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He's very intelligent.
Andrew Tate is not everyone's cup of tea.
Obviously,
we're not going to make a huge topic about it. But like, the value is there for people to receive the message and actually take a lot of value from that and learn from them as well. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like if you're someone that wants to have like a massive impact and be someone of substance to where people actually for real, like mess with you, man, you got to bring more to the table than just flexing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed, to be fair.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree.
That's why I don't do too much flexing on I don't do any flexing on socials. Of course, at Dubai, for some people it might be a flex. Aside from that, I got a little watch on, but nah, man.
You like to make good content, give people valuable information.
It's just value, bro. What are you doing to help other people? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing right now to make a difference to someone else's situation?
That's it. There's no better feeling than putting out good content, good information, knowing that someone's eventually going to benefit from the information you're putting out there. You're adding good value to the world. And I think there's no better feeling than that.
Definitely, man. So that's what it is. So yeah, man. But aside from that, bro, look, obviously there was a little bit of negativity going on with the speech about Dubai. But aside from that, honestly, outside of that, Dubai is an amazing place, and there's a reason why I'm here. I don't have to be here. You know what I'm saying? It's an amazing place. Lifestyle's amazing. Even the people, bro. People are cool. People are cool, chilled. I've not really met anyone obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's not obnoxious people here. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't really met anyone super obnoxious, and everyone's just here on a mission. That's what I like about it, innit?
Everyone's here literally, as you said, on the same mission. They understand the assignment. They're here to make money, live a good life.
Exactly. Everyone's in on a mission. They're thinking a certain way. You see certain people driving certain cars and just living a certain lifestyle. That'll push you to go harder. And
it's inspiring, just walking around seeing a Urus. What more could you want?
Exactly that, man. So that's a big reason why. But in terms of being here long term, I don't know, man. I can't lie to you, man. Long term is a hard one because most people that come here, they don't stay here. Like they'll be here for a couple of years, and I've heard this from like different people, and I've seen it with different people as well. They'll be here for like 2-3 years. They'll get what they need to get from Dubai, and then they'll go somewhere else. I have noticed that. To be fair.
I think it's a good city to make a good amount of money in. But if you're thinking about raising a family, it's probably not the greatest city to raise a family in. Schooling fees here are ridiculous. I'm hearing it's 60,000 dirhams per child per year. It's probably not the greatest city to raise a family in, but if you're someone who wants to make as much money as possible, scale your business as quick as possible, I think it's probably one of the best cities.
100%. Yeah, just that a lot. That's the one I'm focusing on, and for that, it's one of the best places you can be in. But if you're looking for something where, you want to meet other people, like, don't get me wrong, you can. No, I'm saying you can meet other people here. 100%, you can definitely do that. But in a sense where like you want to build real connections, like real in depth. Like most people here, they come and they go. Dubai it's a city that's a revolving door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is unfortunate, but that's I guess that's what happens when when like people can't become permanent residents here.
It's a fast moving city, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens when the heat is as stupid as it is right now. When people leave in the summer and they only spend half the year here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They go back home for the summer.
Exactly.
Come again in September.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. Yeah.
What about yourself though? What's your thoughts on like Dubai and how you're feeling about it?
I would say as a whole, I like it. Yeah, I do. And in fact, let me not lie, I love it. For me, I think personally, coming here and just being around like-minded people, constantly being motivated, I think for me, that's what I really need in my life right now. I'm at that phase where I'm looking to scale. And I think similar to you mentioned it earlier, Dubai is just the right city for that. The motivation you have, the high caliber, the level of people out here, it just makes you want to push harder. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but when I was in the UK, I think I was very stuck in my rigid ways of just wanting to retire a millionaire and that being the end goal and that be that. But there are people making ridiculous amount of money in their 20s, in their 30s. And it's really opened my eyes to push harder and not just focus on too much on the long-term future and really think about right here, right now.
Yeah.
So... yeah, man.
No, it's a new world we live in, man. It's a new world, man. People are not just like, it's not just about working a job and investing in the stock market and property and then cross your fingers, you retire with a bit of money in the bank account. You know what I mean? There's a lot more to be done, man. There's a whole lot more to be done. And again, it goes back to what I said before about people like us being able to demonstrate that to other people, for them to be like, wow, like if they're doing it, why can't I do it?
This is what's achievable, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's like the bigger play for me, man, when it comes to really being able to, because that's, impact is the main thing, man. Don't get me wrong, money is 100% like a big thing because you gotta have money to have impact. You ain't got no money, you ain't gonna have no impact. You know what I'm saying? People are not gonna take you seriously.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
you've got to have a track record. Yeah.
Yeah. So the money, like the money follows the impact.
Yeah.
Or the impact follows the money. Should I say?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, man. It's just man. That's kind of like the plan for me. The long term play, anyways.
Yeah.
When it comes to just showing people the rope, man, and just being able to just being able to honestly, like, for example, Imam Ghazi, like he's got like does he have a cult like following? I would say he probably does.
I would say he does.
I'd probably say he does.
Yeah. Not as bad as, the guys like Andrew Tate. I think that's a negative cult that he has.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the messages he puts out, they're not the greatest messages. I think for people who can be vulnerable, I think is a bad message that he sends out. But I think Imam Ghazi, he has a good cult following. He pushes out good messages. He's obviously a great guy. So, yeah.
Yeah, and he's young, man.
He's young. I didn't realize. I think he's younger than me. He's 26, 27.
25, 26, something like that. Yeah.
You wouldn't think.
That's crazy.
What he's achieved is crazy. And this is what I mean. Going back to people achieving such greatness in their 20s. Being around people like that. I mean, I haven't met Imam Ghazi, but there's so many people out here like that, and the possibility of bumping into someone like that out here is very high in comparison to it being in London.
Yeah, but no, it's just like if I had like one thing that people should be doing, like every single person is being on social media. Yeah, that is like the biggest thing that anyone can do.
Everyone should be documenting in public, building in public. I was talking to one of my friends about this the other day. He's big on private equity, and I said to him, bro, you need to be documenting this on YouTube. You don't know what can come off people watching your YouTube videos. Social media is a huge industry, and I think if you're someone who runs a business or you've got some sort of passion, you should be documenting your journey. You don't know what it can lead to. So yeah, 100% agree with that, man. 100%.
Yeah, like I've built my businesses from social media.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I've done it.
Yeah.
Like
someone could argue that you actually run a social media company as opposed to being more in the property game.
100%. I actually agree with that. Like I've got more of a social media / marketing company. Yeah. That's in property. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I've got a social media marketing company that's into property.
Yeah.
So my thing is, look, I'm the face of it. I'm the social media guy. I talk my stuff, and then I'm able to attract the people that we can put in different parts of the business. If someone's looking for coaching, we can help them out with that. If someone's looking to have their properties, managed, we can also help them out with that as well. And eventually, when we're out here, setting up shop in Dubai, we can help people out with regards to, purchasing off-plan properties and just helping them get in the property market over here. Yeah. So that's the power behind social media, man, because most people don't do it. Most people are afraid. Most people are scared of what their family and their friends, what they'll think.
I'm not going to lie, I was a victim to that when I first started. So I've been doing social media for about just over a year and a half now. I first started anonymously. So I wasn't posting my face. I was just documenting my portfolio, just documenting the numbers. And I was worried to think, okay, if I post a video of myself, what are my family going to think? What are my friends going to think? Are the man them going to think I'm moist? You know what I mean? All these things go through your head, and it just gets to a point where I don't care. I'm going to post what I want to post. I'm going to document my journey. And, I would say I'm in the process of changing my life. So yeah, everyone just needs to get on social media. Don't care what people think. Just do you, stay in your lane, and people are always going to respect you. You're always going to get haters.
Of course.
But especially on TikTok, them trolls are...
It's worse on Instagram, man.
For you, Instagram. For me, it's TikTok. TikTok. Yeah,
it's worse on I get more love on TikTok than I do on Instagram.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, it's fair enough, man. I think with that, it wasn't easy for me to get a hold of as well, because for a very long time, I was on Facebook. Yeah. So my peers are not on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go on Instagram. So everyone I know is on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a massive step out of my comfort zone, and it wasn't easy at first. It was, from time I'm seeing my mum on her phone watching me on TikTok and Instagram, it was like, bruv, that's mad. Yeah. It's mad. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's mad weird. But look, at the end of the day, it's like, the way I see it is, you're going to sacrifice the growth of your business
for a bit of pride,
for other people watching your stuff and having them think a certain type of way about you.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. When you break it down like that, okay, you're prepared to risk the business of your dream that you're trying to build just because of what other people think about your content.
Yeah.
Come on, bro, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big play, man. It's a massive. And when I actually realized that, I didn't care. I didn't care what anyone thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't care what anyone thought. Like, this is the mission. You know what I mean? It's powerful, man. So powerful, man. People understood the power behind that. And it's people, they haven't experienced it. If they always say experience, they will be like, you know what? Wow. Like, when you see stuff, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
That's what it is with social media.
Literally. Yeah.
But not everybody should be on it. Everybody should be on it, as you said, documenting their journey, sharing games, sharing value, and just building relationships with people, man.
Yeah. I mean, we pretty much met. Well, we met in person, but we've obviously spoke a few times over when we last met. And you never know who you'll meet doing social media. So
you will meet people. Like, I've built connections from social media that I would have never been able to have built without social media. Yeah,
you attract what you put out.
Yeah, I've had people, I've had people of a certain, I'm not gonna say no name, but I've had football players reach out to me. Not I'm talking about not Arsenal players, but more below. What's the league before? I don't watch football.
Champions League.
Yeah, I don't watch football. But
I don't either.
The league below that.
Where
they're making serious money, and they're known. These guys have reached out to me. I've had people in the rap space in the UK that people know these people. They're reaching out to me. It's there's no way these people would reach out to me if I wasn't active and doing my thing. I had a guy reach out to me the other day. He was based in Monaco.
Oh wow.
He's based in Monaco, and he's he's managing an investment fund worth millions, and he wants to work with me because he wants to get involved in the Airbnb space in London. I'm like, bro, there's no way.
All because you posted a few videos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The connections you can make from socials is different. Your network explodes. Yeah. Everybody, let me not say everybody, but a lot of people want to get to know you. They want to do business with you because they've built a relationship with you from your content. Yeah. If you're not known, you're not seen, who are you?
You're nobody, essentially.
You're nobody.
Yeah. As bad as it sounds, it's true. Yeah.
It's true. You're nobody. Nobody knows about your business. You're not going to see the success you're looking. I mean, you can, but you're limiting yourself, man. Honestly. Yeah. But I think you need to, with social media, I've clocked as well, man. You have to. It takes time.
Yeah.
To build it.
It's not an overnight thing.
It's not an overnight thing at all. Because I've noticed with social media as well, a lot of people, and I've seen people in the social media game for years, and they've just been on the same level. They haven't really grown that much. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not on a big level at all. I'm still growing. I'm still trying to build. But there's people that stay at 2,000 followers for 5 years. Yeah. 3,000 followers. 4,000. I was like, wow, that's. Yeah. And then that made me realize you've got to
reassess your strategy at that point, because clearly something's not working, right?
Yeah.
So
No, I've clocked with social media. It's like the only way you can get it to work very, very well, like to where you can grow like a massive following, is that you've got to hit people emotionally somewhere, either by talking some stuff that is extreme that will either get people to love you or hate you. I Andrew Tate.
Yeah. Or being controversial.
Exactly. Or you got to be able to demonstrate that you are really that guy, and just based off that, people will just like naturally follow you. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, people do that. People do the fakery and they do that, and people follow them. But actually demonstrating that you are that guy and you live that lifestyle, you make the money you make. Yeah. You super flex, but then you like it's coming from a real place. Yeah, people will follow you, but because you're inspiring. You know what I'm saying?
I think ultimately it falls under two categories: entertainment and education. And if you can mix the two of them together, you're off to a really good. Yeah.
So that's my strategy right now. I'm like, my plan to grow is to mix the two together. Yeah. Because I'm not a flexer. Yeah. And people have said, oh, you should start doing this and that, because that's what people like. Especially the people that you're attracting, that's what they like. They like the cars, they like the pen. I'm like, nah, man, that's not me. I'll be faking it. Yeah. That's not me. I don't want to do that. But then at the same time, it's annoying because I know that's if I started doing that, I'll build a bigger following. Yeah. It's really annoying.
Naturally, it would attract more eyes.
100%. But then at the same time, it comes with that negative stigma as well. But for me, the education / entertainment space, like I feel like you gotta have like I don't know, man. You gotta have a certain flavor about you. You gotta have a certain kick about you. Not everyone can pull it off, man.
No, it's difficult. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Not everyone can pull it off, man. So that's my strategy for now. To be fair, like I posted one video the other day. Not even the other day, probably like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Like it was just like I don't know how it came to my head. It just came to my head. Yeah. Like it was a video of me in a ski mask, and I was like, oh, I mean, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, but I was basically saying, oh, what do you do when you can't afford a $3 million house? You rob it. And then straight after that, I said, oh, no, I'm joking, but we are going to rob this place from the housing market and put in Airbnb to make a profit.
I do remember you posting one about your watch and then someone coming up to you.
And say, oh, yeah.
Is that the one or?
No, that's a different one. That's another one as well. It's like
that one
your fake watch. Yeah. How much you buy that fake watch for? Like about £300. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just like stuff like that. Yeah, it gets a lot of views. Yeah. So I'm just trying to be like a little bit quirky, because a lot of people, like, don't get me wrong, they give good valuable information, but it's boring, man. And people just like, they're not interested in that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're not interested in that. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some people that are, but the vast majority of people are not interested in that. Yeah,
they're just on Instagram for the dopamine. They just want to see something funny and quirky.
Exactly, man. So like, you just got to, for me, honestly, man, it sounds very, very simple, but like right now, my strategy on social media is just to be me. Yeah. And you're doing good at it. So just keep doing what you're doing, bro. But you know what? For a very long time, I wasn't being myself. I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah. And it's a trap you fall in, because you see when you start getting views on videos, you start being a little hoe for the views. Like, oh no, because it's addictive.
It is. It very addictive. Actually is. Yeah. Constantly refreshing the notifications tab. Yeah. Thinking like, it has this video blown. Has this?
No, you see when you have videos blow and then you go for a long period where videos don't blow.
It humbles you.
Yeah, it's not even. It's not just that as well. It's like you need that. It's like taking a drug, bro. It's like when you're smoking. I don't know.
You need to go viral again. Yeah.
You smoke weed. You get high. Like you start itching. It's like, oh, I need to get the next one. It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I know. I've dealt with that before. Yeah.
And then it's like, and then so many people probably experience this. You start doing things that you wouldn't normally do.
To get to that point again,
yeah, and that's when it's just like a vicious cycle, and just you kind of lose yourself a bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You kind of lose yourself as
a lose the authenticity.
Exactly, man. You start being a hoe to the algorithm, and you start doing things that's not you. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm just gonna like just be myself. If people they like it, they do. If not, that's just what it is. And that's what everyone like. It's easy for me to say that's what everyone should do, but I feel like they have to kind of go through and experience it themselves for them to really be like, okay, you know what? It makes, because I've heard that from day one. Oh, just be yourself, be you. Yeah. But it's like
it's the standard advice people give. Yeah,
it's standard advice. But yeah, man, that's the best strategy advice I can give if someone looking to get on social media. First of all, get on social media and start actually posting. But just keep it real, man. Be you. You're not going to attract everyone. The problem was I was trying to attract people that like weren't naturally drawn towards me. Yeah, you're gonna have people
just for the numbers. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's like for you, like if you try to attract someone that, like a middle-aged white guy that's 55 that works in corporate finance, that's very that lives in Sussex. You're probably not gonna have the best, you know what I'm saying, the best time doing that. Yeah. But if you attract people similar to yourself, you're gonna be way more much higher chance.
100%.
Yeah, so you just gotta be you, man. Just be cool, be chilled.
Yeah. Yusuf, it's been great having you on the pod, man. Where can people find you?
I'm all over whatever social media channel you're using. Just type in my name, Yusuf Sheikh.
Yeah.
You'll find me.
Love it, bro. It's been great having you on the pod.
Appreciate you, my guy, man. Thank you for having me on, man.
That's it, man.
That's it.
Wish you all the best, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Cool.